Hey guys, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. First of all, before I start this video, if you can hear the candle like crackling, that's what that noise is, because I stupidly bought a candle that makes a crackling noise for my filming background. I have filmed a few videos with it before and you can't hear it, so fingers crossed it'll be fine, but just so I let you guys know before we hop straight into the video. So I thought that I would make a video essentially giving my top 10 tips for a fresher if you're starting university and you maybe just feel like you need a bit of guidance, you're a bit unsure, you're a bit apprehensive. I am going into my third year of uni, so I've had 2 years experience of uni, and obviously I have done freshers myself, and there's definitely things I would do differently if I could go back. So I thought this would be the perfect time to film this video. It's kind of mid-August. This was a time where I was starting to get a bit nervous but also very excited to go back to uni. I know that this year it's obviously going to be very different. However, I think unis are going to be trying their best to make it as normal as possible. I know that mine is anyway, and these tips are very kind of universal. All these tips I'm going to give you can still be applied even given the current circumstances of the world. So before I keep waffling on doing a massive intro, I'm just going to get started. I have got my tips written down on my notebook, so if I keep looking down, that's why. I just need to remind myself. So tip number 1 that I have thought of is socialise with as many people as possible in freshers. Don't just glue to like your flat or the first people that you meet maybe in an induction when you're going into uni. Really try to put yourself out there, because I think what it's really easy to do is just find a couple of people, think, right, I found these people, we're going to be friends, and stick to them, when that's not always the case. I find that during freshers you meet a lot of people and it's very easy to just stick with who you're comfortable with, but chances are the people that you meet in freshers, a lot of the time you're never going to speak to them again. I know that during my freshers I met so many like lovely people, but just now there's only a very select few that I actually still speak to. And I think one good thing that I did do is I spoke to so many people. Had I not spoke to so many people, I think that I wouldn't have had as good of friends that I do now. I have a very small circle of friends, but definitely a good circle of friends, and I think that's definitely helped by the fact that I put myself out there during freshers. So even if you're shy, just take the plunge. Everyone is in the same boat, everyone is trying to make friends. Go to as many social things as you can, speak to as many people as you can, and then you'll be able to really find your group of people. So tip number 1 kind of also leads into tip number 2, which is don't force friendships. This is probably one of the most important tips that I can give. I think so many people just go to uni with the idea that they're going to have a massive group of friends and that it's going to be like the best experience ever. But there is no point in forcing friendships with people that you know are not really your kind of people. I think I was definitely prone to this. I kind of tried to make friendships work even though I knew deep down that they weren't really my kind of people. And there's just no point. Like, relax. Your people will come to you. I know that everyone says that and it can seem like it just won't happen, but it will. University is such a massive place that you're bound to run into people who are going to be your true friends. So just relax. Don't try and become best friends with everyone you meet and then realise a few months down the line, actually, I don't think I want to be friends with these people. Just chill out. People will come to you. You will naturally find people. So yeah, when you meet someone, ask yourself, do I see myself in a year's time still being friends with this person? You know, are they really the kind of person that I want to be friends with? Because otherwise you're just wasting your energy just for the point of wanting to kind of seem like you have lots of friends, or maybe you would feel bad, but honestly it's just best if you just naturally wait and friends will come to you. So my tip number 3 is, if your uni has a freshers fair, definitely go to it. This was a great way to not only chat to new people, but to also find out what your uni has on offer. So quite often societies set up stalls, you can go around, you can sign up. It's a good way to kind of push you into the deep end and try out some new things. I did go to this, however my uni, my one gripe with my university is that they don't have the biggest range of societies. They have recently set up like a yoga and wellbeing society society, and I'm definitely planning on joining that because I just think societies are a great way to kind of relax, still be part of your uni, but rather than being academic you can really enjoy it, and to meet new people who are going to be like-minded, because if you're already going to a society you already have that common interest that could spark a friendship. Yeah, I did try some societies, but honestly just I found they weren't for me, and that's okay, you know, try societies, go to them, and then if they're not for you you can easily just leave. But I definitely recommend going to a freshers fair. Even not just societies, you can find out things about your uni, maybe just facilities that they have. It can seem overwhelming, but I think it's definitely a good idea to make sure that you go to your freshers fair. Okay, rule number 4 is one that you have to do, and I cannot emphasize enough how much you should do this. So rule number 4 is make a cleaning rota. So you're probably going to be in halls most likely, and a cleaning rota just makes everything so much easier. I remember in my first year halls I kept saying, please can we make a cleaning rota, because it was the same people doing the cleaning all the time and it just wasn't fair. And by having a rota you can make people accountable. Yeah, my first year flat was just an absolute mess. There were some people that just never did any cleaning. My second year flat, as soon as we all moved in, I was like, right, we're gonna have a cleaning rota. Rather than kind of asking guys, can we maybe make a clean rota, I was like, right, let's make a cleaning rota, because it just makes everyone's life more easier, it makes it fairer, and then your flat will not end up getting in a bomb site. I found what happened in my first year flat was it was like everyone waited until the bins were just absolutely disgusting to take them out. Whereas if you say, okay, we kind of worked out that the bins need to be taken out twice a week, then they actually get taken out twice a week by that chosen person. It just is way more maintainable, way better, and everyone stuck to the cleaning rota. We all got on about it. I also found that in my first year flat there were a lot of arguments over cleaning and the bins, but that really didn't happen in my second year flat because we had a rota which we maturely stuck to. So if you want to avoid arguments over cleaning, make a rota. I cannot recommend it enough. Rule number 5 is something that I only did during my second year of uni, but I really wish I had done during freshers to really start me off in good footsteps. So rule number 5 is buy a planner. If you've watched some of my uni videos before, you'll see that I have a planner from Tiger which just has the days of the week, the things I need to do, to-do lists. It's just really simple, really easy. And during my second year, every Sunday night I would think, right, what do I want to do on this day? So it might include going to the gym. This isn't just academics, right? I know I'm meeting this person on this night for drinks. I know I have the gym then. I need to go food shopping then. I'd also write down here what I was going to be eating through the week, and then obviously, okay, I need to do this reading here. I need to write this essay here, and then it just made it seem so much more simple and achievable to be able to tick off everything as you do it, and to be able to plan my week and not be panicking because I know I have loads to remember in my head. In first year I was very bad for making my workload seem very unmanageable. I would quite often turn down going to lots of social events because I thought that I had loads of work to do, but that was because I wasn't actually writing out what I had to do. And then I'd find that at the start of the week I'd get everything done, and then I'd have all these days where I'd like turn down going out and doing things. So yeah, buy a planner. It'll just make your life so much easier and you won't forget anything. I'd also recommend this if you're quite a forgetful person. Planners are just your best friend. So my tip number 6 is quite a common one, but we don't say it for no reason. Like, you should be following this. So rule number 6 is do not leave your work until the last minute. I know that this is kind of more of a just your nature on how you deal with your workload. I'm quite good that I'm someone that wouldn't do that. I'd rather get my work out of the way so that then I can enjoy going on nights out, for example. But if you leave it till the last minute, you will have it lingering in your head like, oh, I know I have this work to do, no, I'm just gonna go out, oh, I know I have this work to do. And that kind of grinding on you all the time can get really stressful. I like that I can just go, okay, I'm gonna get my work done, and then, you know, I can enjoy my night out, and then I don't have to constantly be thinking, oh, I still have this to do, I still have this to finish, because I know that it's done. So yeah, I would 100% recommend not leaving things until the last minute. Because if you think about it, your time that you're taking on this thing is still going to be the same, but the time that you're spending stressing about it is decreased to this because you get it out of the way and then you have free time. Just come on guys, you want a stress-free life, so don't leave things to the last minute. So rule number 7 I mentioned in my budgeting video, but I think if you're going to take away anything from that video, which was actually one of my first videos on my channel, then it would be this. Make sure you do your food shop at a big food store rather than small corner shops. Now, the reason I say this is because prices, in my experience, are always cheaper when you spend the time venturing out to find a big supermarket. Chances are, if you're at university, you're going to be in a city of a decent size and there will be a big supermarket. For me, no more than 10 minutes away. In fact, there's one at 5-minute walking distance, but I choose to go to Asda, so that's like 10 minutes on the bus. I know so many people that did their shopping. We have like a tiny Sainsbury's and they do a full week's food shop in there, and the prices in small Sainsbury's are just extortionate because, as well, if you think about it, if you spend the time going to a bigger food shop, there's more options of what you can buy, and quite often the cheaper versions of things, for example Asda's own, are going to be in that big Asda where you venture out, whereas the small corner shops, the prices are going to be more. You know, places like Sainsbury's are not cheap, so I would really recommend, if you're wanting to save some money, then just spend some time going out to do a big food shop. And as well as that, make sure you do one like weekly food shop rather than nipping to the corner shop every 2 days when you need things, because chances are you're going to pick up things when you do that you don't. So my tip number 8 is set a budget each week. Now, what I would do is I have a savings account and my current account. I'd put all my money into my savings, and each week I'd transfer myself over to my current account. That way you really can't spend more than your budget, or at least it's definitely more difficult to, because I know I don't love transferring money out my savings to my main account. And I've had many a times where my cards got declined and I'm like, well, that's my money up for the week, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. This is just an easy way to keep track of your finances. I know that when I'm at uni, I can go overboard, especially if you're going out a lot. That can really rack up quite a big cost, so I would honestly recommend budgeting each week a set amount. Just maybe spend the first few weeks kind of gauging what would be a sensible amount that you'd be able to live off for a week, and then just transfer that over from one account to another account, or maybe you could even take it out in cash and then know that you only have that, because it's just so easy to just constantly like pay things with Apple Pay and things like that when it's probably things that you don't need. So tip number 9 kind of comes more from when I've been speaking to friends, and that is, do not call home 24/7 in your first few weeks. Now, I say this has come from friends because I was quite lucky that I wasn't really homesick. I honestly don't really know why. I was just very ready to go to uni. I'm quite an independent person anyway, so for me homesickness wasn't really something I struggled with. However, loads of people do. In fact, I think the majority of people do, and it's totally normal. And I remember speaking to friends and things who would say that they kind of spoke to their parents 24/7 and it did just make it worse. Maybe if you organise to call them maybe twice a week, like, I'm not saying shut off your family, that's definitely not what I'm saying, but I think they'll make it a lot easier for you if you try and spend time speaking to new people that you've met at uni, speaking to friends, rather than constantly speaking to the people that are actually making you upset because you miss them. So that is definitely a tip that I would give, is if you're someone who is getting homesick, try not to call your family 24/7. So we are on to tip number 10. We're nearly at the end of this video. If you're still sticking around, then thank you very much. So tip number 10 that I would give is, if possible, avoid circuit laundry at all costs. If you've heard anything about uni accommodation, you've probably heard of the absolute monstrosity that circuit laundry is. If I had to name one thing about halls that I hate, it would hands down be circuit laundry. So circuit laundry, for those of you who don't know, is the laundry provider that the majority of halls around the UK use. So you will usually have your flat, and then in another room, sometimes in another building, you have a laundrette, and usually it'll be ran by Circuit Laundry. Now these machines and dryers are not only a rip-off, they are ridiculously expensive, but they are horrific. The quality of them is horrific. I've mentioned this in another video, I think, but I had quite a lot of my clothes broken by the dryers from the clothing like getting caught and then being ripped apart. The washing machines are okay. In my current flat, we still have Circuit Laundry, and I do use the washing machines, but I bought a clothes horse. Do not try and use the dryers. You're 100% just wasting your time. I used to spend a tenner each week just doing my laundry because I'd have to put it through the washing machine, which is, you know, okay. The washing machines quite often get stuck though, or the floors will be flooded. Like, they're really just not great. Like, if anything, I'd recommend trying to find out where your nearest laundrette is and going to that. I should probably do that. I just haven't yet because I'm lazy. But yeah, what I used to do was wash it, which is like £3, and then I would have to dry it twice, sometimes 3 times, and this would be on for like 50 minutes, and I wouldn't even put that much washing in there to be dried, but it would just take a ridiculous amount of time to actually dry my clothes, and even by the end of it, it usually wouldn't be dry, and I'd have to just put it wet and it would have that horrible damp smell. And that would cost me about a tenner. But this last year I invested in a clothes horse, and that would just dry my laundry absolutely fine at no cost, just using, you know, the air, and as well way better for the environment. So yeah, that is my tip number 10, which is probably one of the most important tips to take away from this video, because a tenner a week on laundry, that really does soon add up. When I spent time working out what I spend each week, I really did notice how much my laundry was costing me. So yeah, if you take anything away from this video, do not use Circuit Laundry if possible. And if you do, just use the washing machine and buy a clothes horse. So, we are now at the end of this video. I really hope that some of these tips have helped you guys if any of you guys are going into first year and you just wanted a little bit of advice. If anyone has any other tips that they would give to someone else, or maybe looking back on their own first year experience, please leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear other people's tips. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below, because the uni content will be coming in strong in the next little while, because I'll be going back to Edinburgh and I'm planning on making lots more uni based videos. So yeah, please do subscribe if that's the kind of thing that you're into, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!